Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're doing really, really well. My name is HUMNA and I share insights connected to the names of Allah, which I absolutely love and am passionate about sharing. My connection with Allah grew stronger when I got to know each name and drew inspired by that name. So I'm going to share a little bit about the name through the book that I'm following, and then I'm going to read from my other book, which I love. And I can't really emphasize how beautiful both of these books are in their own ways. But this is my favorite, and I keep going back to it over and over again. As you can see from the condition of it, it's everywhere like a sticky tape here, which is embarrassing, but it is what it is. I just love the names of Allah, and whatever book can bring me closer to them, I just kind of go and snap it. So when we know who Allah is, then we automatically connect to Allah at a very deeper level. It's not just something where you worship God or you worship Allah or La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. But when we understand the La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah through his names, our consciousness expands. We become almost in the presence of Allah all the time. And he not only is something or someone or an entity that you have to reach to, but he becomes something that is with you 24/7. And like I said, the more you get to know Allah through his names, the more you are so passionate about the names and they really pull you in. So today's name, as I'm following this book, and we've done the Allah itself, the first name that this book has. I'm following the sequence of this one, but I'm going between the two books to bring in the explanation and how the session works. Just if this is your first time attending, how the session works is in the first part, I'll read a little bit from the book about the name. Then I would share the insights, and then we will do an artwork inspired by the insights received, downloaded or guided to whatever it is that you want to name. And we will then create, inshallah, an artwork. So you can either listen to this as a podcast, or you can just, you don't even have to do art. You just have to be present to just absorb these words. And I tell you, my life has completely shifted into a new gear, new pathway, which unfolded without even me knowing I had this passion for Allah's names as much as I do today. But alhamdulillah, so there's Allah first, and then there was Wahid and Al-Ahad that we did. Now we've reached Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. So I highly recommend that when you do your zikr, even in the artwork today, if you can do both the names, but I'm just going to focus on each name each day. So this session is particularly focused on Ar-Rahman, and then we'll go on to Ar-Rahim in the next one. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the most gracious, the most merciful. These two appellations encapsulate the vast expanse of Allah's boundaries, boundless mercy, wherein he extends his benevolence to all of creation, nurturing and sustaining them without discrimination. Furthermore, they signify the unique and intimate compassion reserved solely for the faithful, both in the temporal realm, I hope I say that right, realm and the realm beyond, enveloping them in divine grace and favor. Now, I do have to say, like, these words are beautiful because, of course, how can it not be when they're describing Allah's names? But personally, for me, I believe that we have to make Allah's word and Allah's names understood by our heart and our mind. So when they're big words, and my English vocabulary isn't fabulous. So when I look at this, it's a little too much for my brain. So personally, I I feel, I don't know how to say this, but I feel very disconnected from these words. So I'm going to read Rahman from this book. So personally, this is just so that I can get the sequence of the names that I want to follow. And the number of times is really great because it tells you the number of times this word has been mentioned in Quran. And those of you who don't know me, I paint Quran, make ayats, and we're on Surah Baqarah just in the beginning. So if you want to join, you can also join that and paint with me through Patreon. So Ar-Rahman in this book says, Ar-Rahman is endless love. It is the infinite, unconditional reality of love. This is the name said in the Quran to be inscribed on the heart of Allah. In other words, God's essence necessarily includes this quality of love. Ar-Rahman might be imagined as the inner self of God, an infinite container that is incredibly compassionate, kind, and tender. It is the sun of loving compassion that is endlessly shining. Ar-Rahman includes all the other divine names. It is the source of all. It is the gate that opens onto the God's quality and an inner secret of each other. The root meaning comes from the word Rahm, which is the womb. In human beings, this quality is, I'm just going to slow down. In human beings, this quality is naturally felt in relation to pregnancy. Allah provides human beings a womb to be born into and through which to have the realization of the love that is at the very foundation of all that exists. Invocation of Ya Rahman is a healing remedy for all who feel disconnected from God and for those marked by wounds of self-loathing. See Ya Rahim, with which it is paired in repetition. Now, one of the most incredible things about this name is that when Allah calls him Ar-Rahman, he's trying to tell us about his love for us, which is endless. And there is no give and take in Ar-Rahman. You can't give anything to Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahman gives you all that you are in need of. So one has to, the more you absorb the energy of this word, of this beautiful name, you realize that that's the kind of love you've been waiting for all your life. And that is provided to you from the first breath to the last, and even beyond that. You are provided with that love already, because he who created you is telling you that I have endless love for you. And that just holds our heart, says no matter nobody loves me or not, I am loved by the one who created me, for he is my Rahman. And one of the things that we have to connect to is this attribute of endless love, is we have to cultivate that in ourselves. And for that, you have to look at people who you can give love to. Who are the people around you who you can just give love to? Or who are the people that you don't like even? How can you give love to them also? For you don't like them for a specific reason or whatever they've done. But following the path of Ar-Rahman is when we understand how can we love those who have hurt us. Because Allah doesn't say, I love this one or that one, or who prays or who doesn't pray. He says he is endless love. He is Rahman to those who believe in him and to those who don't even believe in him. And so that's the whole beauty of coming into a space of Ar-Rahman, to understand he loves us endlessly. So he's constantly loving us, right? What are we doing with that love? Are we holding it, hoarding it, and not giving it away? Because that's not how Allah wants it. It's constantly coming to you like it's a shower, right, of love. So are you passing it ahead, and what are you passing it in? Like for me, it's through art. It's the way I paint. That's the love. I feel so much love that comes out through my artwork. Some people might feel it through their cooking. Some might feel it if their doctor to take care of their sorry, this was just really bothering me. So if they're a medical person and they take care of their patients, and that's the love they can give them. Or if you're a mother, you'd give it to your child. Who are the people around you? Who are you able to give love to unconditionally? And that is a journey one needs to take. And I highly recommend you write down the names of people who you love automatically, and then who you don't love automatically, and then ask yourself, how can you see the good in them the way Allah sees the good in you, in both scenarios, and that will help you flow a Rahman through you, unconditional love through you. So with that thought, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This was just a side note. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, in this part of the session, you can just sit back, enjoy, relax, have a cup of tea, walk around, clean the house, whatever it is that you want to do, right? And let Rahman be with you. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Rahman is endless love. Ya Rahim, mercy that pours forth freely and fully reaches all beings and all things without exception. Today we're just going to do Rahman. The two names our soul never gets tired of hearing is Ya Rahman and Ya Rahim. I've done I think I've done 2 sessions on these names already, and this is the 3rd one. I think one of them is actually still on my Patreon, so if you want to go check it out, you can. And I always feel like, what more will come out of this name again? What will be guided to, again to this name? Like what? But you see, every name speaks. It's vast. We can't just sit and absorb a Rahman in a session or in even a lifetime. So we could spend our whole life trying to understand a Rahman, and we won't be able to. That's the vastness of Allah, that no matter how much you try to get closer, it's like an ocean, an open sky, that you can keep flying, but you'll never be able to go through the whole thing. Because that's Allah, it's beyond us. The love is beyond us. The mercy is beyond us. So we can only get the perspective of the sky from where we are standing, but we can't see the perspective of the sky from the other side of the world, right? So in the same way, whatever we are being able to see of the sky or of the ocean, we have to be grateful for even just that. That also He chooses for us to be able to see. Otherwise, we would just have this vision, and the sky would be just our size. Can you imagine? That would be really depressing. Anyway, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It is His love and His mercy the heart, mind, and soul craves for, because He created us like that. The need to be loved and forgiven by Him is above all of any desires that can satisfy a human being. The one thing that our heart needs, our mind needs, and our soul needs by programming of Allah, the way He created us, is these names. We crave for His love. We crave for His mercy. We might look around for people to love us, but they can't, because it is only His love that can actually feed or satisfy that part of our soul, because it is programmed that way. We were created with a craving of His love. And so we can never, our hearts will constantly, our minds will constantly, and our soul will constantly crave Allah's love and Allah's mercy, because that is what he placed in us. It's nothing to do with us. He placed that in us so that we will always be thirsty of love if it is not from him. So you could be loved by your excuse me, spouse or your children or your mother or your father or your dog or whoever. You will receive a certain kind of love. But the love that your heart and mind and soul desire truly is actually only and only Allah's. And that craving can never, like it's a thirst that never ends. And it is the only thirst that will satisfy you at all of these levels, at your soul, body, and mind level. The human part of us that's temporary needs to be reminded constantly of it being of value. It being accepted with all its flaws and mistakes. Body that symbolizes the mind constantly needs validation from the outside and the inside to be in a space where it is loved for all that is. Allah's names helps us remember Allah's kindness that he has for us, meaning us, his creation. Excuse me. What this text is trying to say is that our body part, like the physical part of us, constantly wants to be valued. So how do I look to myself and to others? Like from the inside, I will need my validation, and I will always look for like validation from other people. Am I doing this right? Am I fitting in? Do I fit into the society? Am I looking good? All that sort of stuff. We constantly need, that's part of us. It's the temporary part, the human part of us, which is temporary, which is only present in this world, constantly wants it to be valued. It wants to feel valued. So our mind has a way of wanting to be better, to be smart, to be, to constantly need the validation that I matter. From the inside and from the outside, in a space where it's loved for all that is. Like I want to be loved for everything that I wear, the way I look, the way I am, everything, like my body. It's very physical, it's very seen. So I want to be seen. The body always, the mind always wants to be seen and validated from the inside and from the outside. Through this beautiful name, Allah makes us feel loved for all that we are. For how can he love us if we were not lovable? So what Allah is trying to teach us through this name, remind us, not maybe teach us also, is Ar-Rahman, the one who has endless love, created this body. Now, I have a need to get validation from outside, my parents, approved by my parents, pleasing my sisters, pleasing the family, pleasing the society, pleasing my spouse. I have that need in me, that somebody outside of me approves of who I am. Now, sometimes we reach a place in our life, we don't care about nobody. And we're like, you know what, I don't care what people think. I'm going to wear this and go. I don't care what people do. I just want to do what I want to do. So even that, even if you don't need validation from the outside, you need it from your own self to approve you. What Allah is saying that I approve you, I value you, every single part of your body, without you even trying to need it. I'm doing it anyway. Allah is valuing the way you look, the way you act, the way you do things. He thinks that you are lovable without you even trying. He loves you without you even trying. It's like amazing. It says, through this beautiful name, Allah makes us feel loved for all that we are. For how can he love us? He says, I am endless love, right? So he feels that Allah loves us unconditionally. Well, I will get into the unconditional word later in God's. Of course, not when you're constantly committing sin and you're like Pharaoh. Please don't expect Allah to love you then. But Allah in general, when we're talking about people who are believers, who do the right thing, and even who are not the believers doing the right things, Allah will love everybody, loves everybody. And for how can He love us? How can He say to us that He is endless love if He didn't think we are lovable? If we were filth, if we were dirt, if we were disgusting, if He absolutely hated us, why would He say He's Rahman? The reason He says, I am Rahman to you. Why would He give you the name if it wasn't directed to you? So He's saying to you and me and the whole of humanity at any time that He loves us. When He loves us, we are worth loving. He sees us as lovable. Otherwise, why would He love us? So by calling Himself Rahman, He's telling us that we are worth that love. What are we doing for that? How are we working towards that love that He has for us? You have to do nothing. You just have to be in praise of Him, of acknowledging Him as Rahman, and that door of endless love opens for you. I love this sentence. For how can He love us if we were not lovable? If we were disgusting, why would He say, Ar-Rahman to you? But He thinks we are lovable. He made us lovable. And He loves us. And that's why He is Ar-Rahman. He is Ar-Rahman. And that's only why He could create us in a way that we became lovable. He doesn't judge us for our color, clothes, gender, nationality. He created every single human being as He chose for them to be. And through His creation, He tells us that you are my love. It is you for whom the whole universe, the stars, the moon were created, the skies and the earth were created, and the butterfly was created, the ant was created, the lion and the elephant all were created, so you and I could remember Allah through them. If that is not a sign of His never-ending love, then surely we are lost. Allah created the whole universe for you and me to stay closer to Him in remembrance of Him. By seeing the moon, we are reminded that He's telling us, don't forget, you have the light that is going to shine on you. Even on the darkest of night, to me, you are beautiful. For in you, I have my light. When we look at a butterfly, we see the life of the butterfly. It goes through darkness. Allah loves the butterfly when it's a caterpillar. Allah loves when it's inside the cocoon and in darkness and isolation. Allah loves the butterfly when it's flying and fluttering. And so Allah, through a butterfly, is telling us, you will go through stages of your life, which I am going to control how long you crawl, how long you stay isolation, how long you will be flying. It is all up to me. And it is my love that you are able to connect and see and learn from a butterfly. But the butterfly is our teacher. It's a way Allah tells us how to be strong in every phase of our life. Through the lion, He teaches us courage and grace. How the lion walks with certainty that it will catch its prey, how and when it needs to. When you see a peacock, in the colors you see beauty. Like you look everywhere and anywhere in all parts of creation. Every creation is telling you about the Creator, and it pulls you into trying to see Allah in that creation. And what is Allah saying to you through a peacock? What is Allah saying? What is the part of Ya Rahman that you are able to love this animal for? So for your love that you have for the animal is the love that Allah has for all of us, for all of creation. It's so magical. Gets me so excited. And so I love, and I could remember Allah through, so it is because of these creations that Allah's created, the hardworking ant, the fluttering of the butterfly, the strength of the elephant. Everything on this planet, in this universe, was created so that you and I could remember Allah through them and be able to ponder and reflect what is it that this animal Allah created for, so that you could get the lesson from this animal. It is His endless love that all of His creation, anything and everything that you see, the endless creation that there is out there, every single creation was created for you and me to be able to get in touch with Allah's message through them. So anywhere you see an animal or anything, it is Allah telling you, look at this butterfly, look at this ant, look at this mosquito, look at this bee, look at them and see my magnificence. It is me being Ar-Rahman to you that you are able to see an ant that is teaching you something. So through the ant, He's telling you how to come closer to Him. Through everything, He's telling you He's Ar-Rahman. It is His love that you can see a bird fly in the sky. It is His love that you are able to look up at the sky even. It is His rahmat. It's His love that you are able to see Him, feel Him, know Him, hear Him through all this, the buzz of the bee, the thumping of the elephant's foot, the wind that blows, every single thing. You couldn't hear, you couldn't see, you couldn't touch, you couldn't feel if He didn't want you to. Now, if He's given you all these senses, the five senses, it is through every sense He wants you to hear Him, to see Him, to feel Him. He wants us to never ever forget who our Creator is. And for that reason, He created all of creation. So through each creation, you are able to see His magnificence, His perfection, and His unmatching love for every single being He created. His love is not for you and me. His love is for every single creation. And every single creation was created so that you and I can learn from it. And you and I can remember Allah through it. You and I can feel His rahmah in being able to learn something from it. And most importantly, just be remembering Allah through anything you see. For everything created is from Allah. It's so like mind-boggling when you're like, oh my God, everything, flowers, air, fire, wind, earth, grass, ants, like everything you see is His creation, and it was created as an act of love for you and me, so that we could look at the grass and get a lesson even from a grass, from the tiniest speck to the massive sky. Everything was created for you and me as a way of His love, which is endless. Of course it is endless, because it is like everywhere. It's everywhere, in water, in the fire that you cook, in the water that you wash dishes and yourself with, in the water that you drink, in the water that is rain, in the water that is storm, that is ocean. It's like, oh my God. Anyway, I get so like passionate about it. It opens your eyes and say, oh. And so when you are in the space of Ar-Rahman and you understand all of creation was created for you and me to learn, to be reminded of Allah, those that you don't like. For example, for me, spiders. I'm not gonna lie, I'm terrified of spiders. Like, I can't handle them. I'm recently getting good at it to spare their life if I could really manage and they're far away, but I'm not great. Not gonna lie. So even those things or those people that cause us discomfort, anger, hatred, or whatever, feelings like not great, those people also are from Allah. And so in the space of Ar-Rahman, when you enter the space of Ar-Rahman and you absorb it in your heart, you're like, even through them, I'm meant to learn something. And what is that learning is, of course, personal to everybody. He didn't create something and hide it. Everything is open for all to see and to have. Everything is available and visible. Everything is for everyone. That is Allah's love. He didn't say the Pakistanis won't be able to see the sky, the Moroccans won't be able to see the fish, or the British won't be able to access the mountains. He gave everyone everything and made it clear, open and visible for all, so everyone can enjoy and connect to his creation and be able to be in remembrance of Allah's love. You see, Allah wants us to stay close to him, regardless of where we were in Jannah or in Dunya, regardless of what space we are in. Allah wants us to be close to him. Now, when you understand that Allah is the one who created all of creation, and then the second thing he says is he's Ar-Rahman, which is endless love. It is in his creation, he's telling you, I'm sending you love through the butterfly. I'm sending you love from the strength of the lion. I'm sending you love from the giraffe's neck. I mean, just saying, right? And so I'm the one sending you love from all of and everything that exists. So, and it's not only for you, or it's not only for the Muslims, it's for everyone. His love is for everyone. There's no sex, gender, class, money, looks that matter. He loves us. He loves everything. And it's available. His love is available. It's like pouring. It's like rain pouring. Right? And it's up to us if we sit and want it. We want to feel his love. Then we see him in everything. We hear him through everything. We speak, and it's his love. But if you don't want it and you shut down and you say, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in religion, I don't believe in the book, I don't believe in, that's your choice. The rain will still go. The love will still go. It is up to you and me to be the slave, the fakir, who is saying, I'm getting love from this, I'm getting love from this. And we have to be open in ourselves to receive Ar-Rahman, because, you know, we're the ones who close, we're the ones who doubt, we're the ones who feel unworthy of his love. I don't pray, so maybe Allah doesn't love me. I'm not good looking, so maybe Allah doesn't love me. I'm blah, blah, whatever label you want to put on. You're the one putting it on you and closing that part of you to be loved by Allah. But Allah's love is for everyone, everything. And it's amazing. The feeling is just, gives you a feeling of ecstasy. He doesn't say you can't watch the stars, or I can't swim in the waves. It's my problem, my fear that I can't swim. It is my problem, my fear that is holding me back to experience something that Allah has given me. That's my thing. And when we own it, I was like, okay, hold on. I think it's me who's not allowing myself to do a certain thing or receive love in a certain way. It's nothing to do with him. Allah's constantly doing it for us. And that's the beauty of who he is. His love is for everything, everyone, every creation. So even the people you don't like, even the insects that I don't like, I'm sorry, but Allah still loves them. Oh. Ar-Rahman is such a deep, yes, vast name that it can't truly be explained with words. You know, I'm tearing up and emotional because so much of my life has gone by away from Ar-Rahman or love. And that is one thing I really struggled with, to be loved for who I am. And just the fact that I know that he loves me gives me the strength to say, it's okay. It's okay if I'm not like anybody else. If I'm not following other people's path, it's okay. He will still love me, for he is the one who created me. It's so emotional, I'm sorry. no, not sorry. I think when we can feel our emotions and we can connect them to Allah, we are so enlightened. We've been told and taught crying is weak and you're weak, but it is an emotion that cleanses our body. It reminds us that who is in control. And so Ar-Rahman is such a deep yet vast name that it can't truly be explained with words. It's a name that calls us for us to stop and connect to our breath in every time we say it. Ar-Rahman, allow this name to flow in your breath, in your every heartbeat, in every single cell of your body and being. It is then maybe, just maybe, start making sense. The love of Allah is so beyond our comprehension that just the fact Allah called him Ya Rahman is an act of his love towards us. For it helps us to focus on this name and know that we can't grasp the whole of it, but whatever we can is his love for us to even allow us to have that tiny understanding of what Ya Rahman could mean. So on the days I felt unloved or unlovable by people, so I started thinking, my mother doesn't love me, so I'm unlovable, and so Allah won't love me. Or my spouse doesn't love me, and so maybe Allah doesn't love me. Or I'm failing in exams, or I'm losing money, or I can't find a job, and so Allah doesn't love me. It's like he calls us Ar-Rahman for the simple reason that we never forget that no matter what we are going through, he is Ar-Rahman. He's going to stay Ar-Rahman. Has nothing to do with us not being loved by him. His name is so vast and so deep. Vast meaning vast, our soul is vast, which is huge. It's air, it's energy, right? He loves us in our soul. And deep, our bodies are deep like the ocean. So the sky and the ocean. He loves us when we expand and we grow and we shine and we're doing the things that he wants us to. And also when we feel isolated, cocooned, lost, broken, shaken, or shattered. Even when we're not loved by the people around us, he will still love us. And that's Ar-Rahman. So the deeper you go into, I'm crying because for so long I've been away from this feeling of love. And he's just saying, I've even loved you when you didn't think you were lovable. For I am Ar-Rahman. I have always been Ar-Rahman. I will always be Ar-Rahman. So regardless of how I see myself, how the world sees me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because he's Ar-Rahman. Such a profound feeling. Ya Rahman connected to the space of creation. Ya Rahman is connected to the space of creation in the womb that holds the seed of love and light, and it nourishes it because of service to its Lord. I write these in my journaling. It's like channeling through the energy. And so I'm writing, I don't even know what I'm writing. And so when I read it, it's with you guys. So I'm going to read it again just to make sense of what is it that it's trying to, the energy is trying to come through. Ar-Rahman connected to the space of creation in the womb that holds the seed of love and light and nourishes it so that it can become service to the Lord. Okay, so there we got it. Okay, what it's saying is that Ar-Rahman is connected to the womb that a woman has in her body, right? Sacred space, which also reminds us how much love he would have that for a woman that he has given the womb and the first name that he calls himself, the most loving, is given to a woman. So how are women meant to be treated? By ourselves and by the other people around us, by other men, not other men, by men in general, by society. And how do we treat, how much How do we allow ourselves to be treated? We carry a womb, a space of creation. Creation was light and matter. They came together. So your heartbeat and your body. First is your heartbeat, then comes your body, then your mind develops. So see the sequence how Allah, mashallah, subhanallah, is telling us, first is your heartbeat. Value the heart, because I am in your heart, right? It is the heart that comes first, then the body and the mind. What do we value? We value the mind and we value the body. And we suppress them because we don't. But in the creation, in the womb, the first thing Allah does is the heartbeat. It is through the heartbeat we know that the baby is alive. I still remember my moment when I heard my daughter's heartbeat, and I think my own heartbeat must have stopped in that moment. Like, what a miracle! What a miracle! And what an honor it is as a woman to hold space in my body. I don't do anything. For him to create a space in my body where creation could happen, where the light, where his light, the room and the body become one, they merge. To have that space, to be gifted that space in my being, where the seed of love and light, which is his root, which is his light, which is the heartbeat, and the merging of it with the body, the soul merges with the body, and the baby is created out of that merge. It is his love for you and me, that he has this room inside your stomach, which is soft, gooey, so that the baby doesn't feel tight. It's not a squarish rock, it's not rigid with thorns, it's soft and gentle. So he's telling you the womb is a space I've created in you as an honor to hold creation, the process of creation, the love, the light coming together in your body and your mind. And so that's the merging of the two and nourishes it. Inside the womb, the baby is nourished so that the light gets what it wants, which is the holding, the space, the safety, and the body gets all the nutrients from the mother. It is provided inside the stomach of the mother, and you and I don't know how it's done, but everything reaches the baby that it needs for its body to develop. So everything that the soul needs and everything that the body needs are both provided inside the womb of the mother, the womb which is connected to this name. And inside this, where the nurturing happens so that the soul and the body come together and they are able to be of service to Allah. Service meaning to submission, to in worship of Allah. The merging of soul, of light, with your body and your mind. And as they become one, the merging is his love, that he does it so that this can both be in worship to Allah. For everything is created for purpose, right? So you can't just say, oh, baby was born. No, the baby was born for a purpose. That the purpose that Allah, the purpose of the light and the body coming together, merging together, is to be of service to its Lord. In the darkness, in stillness, the light and growth occurs. So what happened inside the womb? It's dark and it is still. And it is in the darkness and in the stillness. So notice darkness and stillness. Darkness helps the light basically to shine. And in the stillness, the growth happens. You see, the deep and the vastness comes together. So darkness holds the light, and in the stillness holds growth. It is to remind us that no matter how dark the space, no matter how small the space for you to grow, light within you from him can never be diminished unless he wills it. And growth that he wills can never be diminished unless he wants to. So no matter how dark your life is, your light will always be safe because he wills it. And no matter how stagnant you feel, there's still growth in your stagnancy, in your stillness, if he wills it. I'd rather say when he wills it. The growth of your body is in his hands. The growth of your soul is in his hands. That's what he told us by placing the seed of life inside the womb of a woman. What makes you think he who is in charge of your body and soul, who nourishes and nurtures it in the darkness and stillness, won't take care of you when it is in this world? He calls himself Rahman, for he alone knows how much he feels love towards his creation. To call himself the love that is endless reminds us that no matter how our love is towards him, his love towards us is endless. No limitation, no boundary, no beginning, no end. When we fully understand our Rahman, we too want to give back to Allah that way. We too want to love every creation endlessly so that we too can, when Allah is gifting us our Rahman, love endlessly, that is what we want to also give to everybody, right? Because that's what you are receiving, you are feeling, you are connected to Allah too. You are connecting to the attribute of Allah that is endless love. So you will also try and do that. And that is what Prophet Muhammad did, is he was good with everybody. It's like that's our goal. That's what we have to aim at, to love without seeing what the other person is doing to you, because they're not doing anything other than what Allah is willing them to do. So they're just playing a role Allah wants you to see. And he, as Rumi says, he will make you love all of him through everything that there is. So to love a beggar, to love somebody who's a murderer, to love people who have committed any kind of zina, to love them, it's so hard. It's like, oh my God, they've done something so bad, Allah will punish them. Yeah, you don't have the right to say who's going to get punished. Oh, that person really drinks, shouldn't talk to that person. Oh, this person really has smokes. Oh, that person has tattoo on the boot. Who are we to judge Allah's creation for what they are? We are meant to love them. I mean, you don't have to interact with them if you don't enjoy their company and force yourself to, but you can still give them love, but that is what you are in you. So emotional. Sorry, guys. Not sorry. So, he loved us when he created us. He loves us as we enter this physical realm. He loves us when we return back to him. He loves us. Why else would he create you and me? He tells us about his love for us through this name, and that also reflects something about the Creator. The creation is of so much value to Allah that he chooses to love them endlessly. You and I are so valuable to Allah that he called himself a Rahman so that we can feel his love endlessly. The creation is of so much value to Allah that he chooses to love them endlessly. We, the creations, are always and forever and endlessly in a space of needing his love, his endless love, because no amount of love from anywhere and anyone can satisfy the love Allah has for his creation. The first point was his loving us makes us feel valuable. The second point is that this love that he gives us, we understand that we will always be in need of his love. It shows us our weakness, that we are in need of his love. It's his love that he tells us that he has endless love for us so that we don't get attached to any other idol for that love. So we don't go around looking for anybody. That's why he says, I am the only one who is endlessly loving you. So don't go look around other people. Don't attach yourself to this dunya and the relationship and expect love from them. So he removes that attachment of wanting to be in sajda of any other idol. It is his love that he so clearly lets us know that nothing and no one can love us the way he does, so that we don't get distracted by the worldly relationships and start depending on him. Rather, keep a focus on the love of Allah has for us. By calling himself Rahman, not only he's telling us don't get attached to anybody else because nobody can love you like me, he's also telling you don't go worshipping them, depending on them, needing them. In relationships or jobs or whatever. So don't get distracted by other loves that you experience in this world, and know that mine is above all else, all other loves. It is his love that helps us not want to do things and take actions in our life that will be displeasing to him. And that makes us deeply God conscious, and we are always aware that he is all watching, hearing, seeing, and knowing. So we need to live a life, take actions that are not hurtful to ourselves and others in any way, or for every single being is his creation. When he says he loves you and me, and he says he's endlessly loving, he's also saying he's endlessly loving to all of creation. So you can't go around saying, I don't like Muslims, or I don't like Hindus, and I don't like Christian, I don't like Jews. He's telling you all of them are made by him. So you have to learn to love all, and be conscious of your actions and your words towards other people and your own self. How are you treating others? How are you treating yourself? Either way, you're meant to treat yourself and others with rahmah, with love, with at least trying to accept them for who they are. So you become very God conscious. As we become God conscious, we know that our return is back home, is back to home, which is with him. And so we do all we can to do things that will be pleasing to him here and help us in the hereafter. When we understand he's watching us, he's seeing us, and he's listening, our God consciousness develops and expands. We're very careful with how we treat others, but you also become very conscious that, hang on, I actually belong to Allah, so I'm going to be going back to Allah. So automatically, you not only think of this world and your actions here, but also understand the consequences of those actions when you are going to be facing Allah himself. So you become conscious of the dunya and you become conscious of your akhirah. It is his love that pulls us back to him, and he tests us so he can remove the love of anything and everything from our heart. So it can just be him and his love alone. So we can do what he has created, is for which is to remember him, worship him, and recognize and prioritize him above all and always. You see, what Allah's love does is it keeps pulling us back. So, for example, I'm praying 5 times, alhamdulillah. Now I am. But I fall in love with somebody. And for example, that's my daughter. It's the deepest kind of love a mother would always have with their daughter or your children, right? But we try to prioritize our children above Allah. I'll pray after I've done food for her. No, she needs to wait while you do the prayer because Allah comes first. And these are these small little actions where, you'll be like, no, let me just do this first, serve dunya, and then go to Allah. No, you serve Allah first, and the dunya will wait for you because what you're doing towards Allah is more important. So the love of Allah, the pull of Allah's love needs to be much stronger than any other love that there is in your reality. You were not created so that you could love your daughter. You were created so that you could love Allah. And when Allah becomes your priority, all other relationships will settle into their spaces just the way they're meant to. And so in this last 7th point, it's saying that what Allah does is it pulls you. It's a blessing of Allah when He gives us a test and we feel like, oh, this person's betrayed us, this person's hurt us, this person's cheated with us. All these people are doing is helping you go towards the love of Allah. So, for example, we love this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, and this person cheated, this person hurt you in other ways, this person lied to you, this person betrayed you, this person did something else to you. The reason they are all doing this, again, through Allah, is so that you awaken that you were the one to take the responsibility and you trusted them. You trusted them above Allah. You trusted this person above Allah. You trusted, so they hurt you enough so that you awaken and say, hang on, why am I asking this person to do something for me? Why am I not asking Allah to make it happen for me? And it could be through any other person. And so this person's hurting you means that you're being awakened by them. So thank them always. Always, always, always thank the people who hurt you because they help you to be not your God. Because you've been worshipping them, you've been expecting from them, you've been attaching yourself from them. So there was no space for Allah in the middle. You were being too, you were too attached to them. You were distracted that this is it. Whereas Allah saying to you, open yourself, leave it. So it's painful to remove them from your reality. But Allah, the pull of Allah is so strong. It's so, when you turn towards Allah, the pull of Rahman, the love is so strong that it will remove all your attachments and distractions, and you will feel the pain, but they will wake you to the reality of what you are here to do. What is your purpose? The purpose is to remember Allah, to worship Him, and to recognize and prioritize. When you prioritize Allah, all of these people will either vanish from your reality or they will shift into a new role, which will be after you. To now, I'll conclude all the 7 points. There are 7 points. I don't know if I mentioned them here, but anyway, I'll conclude them to make them shrink as what is it that Allah is trying to tell us through this name, this one name. He helps us value ourselves by valuing us and calling us His creation. When Allah says He's Ar-Rahman to His creation, He is saying, I value you enough, so please value yourself also. That's what the name is about. He is showing you, He is valuing you, so value your own self as my creation. For He is calling you His creation. That in itself is Him showing Rahman, being Rahman on you. He chose to create you. And if He chose to create you, meaning He values in you enough to be created. So please value yourself. That is number one that He wants us to remember. He values us, so He's asking you to value yourself. Tells us about need to want to be loved just as we are. The reason He tells us that He is Ar-Rahman, He's trying to tell us, try not to be somebody else. Be yourself, for that is how I created you, for that is how I value you. So be your authentic self. Number two, He wants us to understand that us about need. We have a need in us to be loved and to be valued. And we want ourselves to be loved and valued just the way we are. That is kind of like a need we have. So focus on trying to be authentic, focus on trying to not lie, be your true self, and that automatically tells you about what Allah is seeing in you. If you are truthful to yourself, you are being you, your real self. That's how Allah wants you to be. And He loves you without you trying to be something else. You don't have to be like Madonna, or you don't have to be like Steve Jobs, or you don't have to be like anybody else. Be your own self and He will love you just the way you are. So stop that neediness of wanting to become like somebody. Be your own self, be authentic, and know that you are loved just the way you are by your Allah. You don't have to ask anybody else to love you for who you are. You have Allah already loving you when you are authentic and truthful to yourself. The third thing is, what he reminds us through this name is not to be attached to anyone, anything other than him. He's telling you, I'm the one who gives you endless love. Is there anybody else who does? You're like, no. So then who do you need to attach yourself to the love that he gives you, right? So then you have to remember that not to be attached to anyone else. The fourth thing he says is helps us to keep our focus on him. By telling us, I am the one giving you the love, I am the one showering you, where is your focus going to be? Are you going to go around asking other people to fill your cup? No, because you know that Allah is filling your cup. So you don't need to go to other people. It helps you to focus on him. You say, hang on, I'm just going to sit here. My Allah is going to love me. And you don't have to get distracted by doing other things. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try as hard to be better. No, try to be in your own space, in your body, and connect your soul and allow that soul to guide you. And you automatically will not be distracted by the outside world. The outside world is an illusion. So don't try to get distracted from the focus of your God. This name makes us God conscious, and so we are never alone. When Allah tells you, I'm all hearing, I'm all seeing, I'm all knowing, you automatically know that the CCTV is on you 24/7. So he's with you 24/7. So you're really never really alone. There is no sense of alone when you are with Allah because you constantly have Allah with you. When you have Allah with you, who's all watching, all hearing, all knowing, God consciousness develops and expands, and you just never feel alone. So through this name, he also tells you that you are never alone. Through this name, he wants you to never want us to forget. He never wants us to forget we belong to him and to him we will return. When he's saying, I love you, I'm the one who's taking care of you, I am your creator, then automatically, if he has created you, he will also have the power to give you death. So you will return to him. For he is the one who's made you, and he's the one who can you, right? So never ever forget that you belong to Allah. Through this name, he's telling you, never ever forget you belong to me, and to me, inshallah, you will return. The seventh one is beautiful. It purifies our heart so we can work on meeting with him and return to him with a heart full of his light. Polish our hearts to be Qalbul Salim, inshallah. So with this name, our hearts get purified because we know all of these things, like he says to value yourself. He says, try to be authentic and real. Do not try to copy and be like other people. He reminds us to not attach to anyone and just come straight to him. He helps us focus on him. He expands our God consciousness. He wants us to never forget we belong to him and to him we will return. All of these 6 things helps to purify our heart and get it ready. So now if you did all of these things, like you valued yourself, you focused on Allah, you tried to be authentic, and you become God conscious, he's listening, he's watching, and so your actions are always right and pleasing towards him, automatically all of this, and also that you belong to him. I repeat just so that you can kind of sink it in your head. All of these 6 points will help you purify yourself to be ready for that meeting that you will have with him. And it's a joy, it's excitement. Ar-Rahman, when he's saying, I endlessly love you, which means he's waiting for you when you return from this journey of this dunya. What are you going to get back to Allah? Nothing will matter other than the heart that you have. So if your heart is clean and pure, and the only way your heart will stay clean and pure is when you follow these 6 steps, automatically your heart will remain pure and be purified and be in preparation for that meeting that you will have with Allah. And may all of everybody who sees this video, doesn't see this, or you can pray and send out this warm Rahman light into this world and say to Allah, say to Allah, that, you know, Allah, may please help every single human being to return back home to you with a heart that is pure and filled with light, um, so that you are happy. Because our goal is not my heart remains purified and your heart remains dirty. No, we're in this together, so we can make a prayer for everybody, for humanity, to have a heart, that Allah is happy with when we return back, inshallah. So I'm going to repeat the 7 things, because, you know, that's the whole idea, the retreat, the artwork that we create using these 7 will be from that. So let me just. His love teaches us, what does Rahman teaches us? To value our existence, to accept oneself as they are, to remember Allah, focus on what makes Him happy with you. We are never alone. Do good deeds to be rewarded for here and the hereafter. And the last one is, keep our hearts clear and focus on the light that you will need on the day of judgment, when you will meet Him. If you're too attached to the dunya, your heart will not be having light, it will have darkness. So the more you do these things, and I'll repeat it again, just so that kind of things you can write it down, or you can revive and go back and write it down. But, you know, just to be in the flow and you don't have to go back for it. I'll say these things. If you follow these 6 steps, your heart will be purified for the day of judgment, inshallah. Number 1, value your existence. Value your existence. You are lovable by Him. Accept oneself as they are. 1 was value, 2 is accept. Accept who you are, where you are, how you are. Everything and anything in this present moment, your Rahman created it the way it is, so accept it. Number 3, remember Allah, and He will remember you. Number 4, focus on what makes Him happy with you. Don't focus on what will make your mother happy with you, your father happy with you, your child happy with you, your spouse happy with you. You yourself, don't get into your ego and say, this makes me happy, so I'm going to do it. Ask yourself, when I do this, will it make my Allah happy? When I love my mother, will it make my Allah happy? What will make my Allah happy? And let me do that. When you make Allah the priority, to be that what you choose to make happy, all other things, I promise you, will come in place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th one is, we are never alone. One of the most scariest things is the wound of abandonment. I'll speak about that later in my videos, but we are never alone. We are never alone. But He is always with you. He's closer to you than you're judging. Why would He tell you this if He didn't want you to feel Him with you, around you, in you, all the time? Never forget, you are never alone. Number 6, do good deeds, thinking about them for this world and the hereafter. So you never forget your connection of your home, where you will be going. And for that, number 7 comes in. This helps to keep your heart focused on the light that you have to return to Allah when you meet Him. I've written it down again. Value who you are. Accept who you are. Remember who your Creator is. Follow His book and messenger. Know He is with you at all times. You will get what you give. Do good and receive good. Keep your heart filled with positive and always good things about your Allah. To live a life with Rahman will never let you get off the path, for he will lead you back home to him again and again and again. For he is the one and only who can love you, value you, accept you, and you are with all your flaws. He'll accept you as you are with all your flaws, your sins, your mistakes, and anything else you feel is not lovable in you. For that, what you find not lovable in you, only because he put it in you. And he wouldn't put it in you if he didn't think that that too is lovable about you. Please let this sink in. I'll read it again. To live life with Rahman, he will never let you go off the path, for he will lead you back to him again and again and again. For he is the one and only who can love you, value you, accept you as you are, with all your flaws, sins, mistakes, and everything else you feel is not lovable in you. For that, what you find not lovable in you, only because he put it in you. And he wouldn't put it in you if he didn't think that too is lovable about you. When you walk the earth with Rahman by your side, it asks you to be that towards yourself and others. When you walk with Allah, calling himself connected to this name Ar-Rahman, the name asks you to be Ar-Rahman, not Allah, but compassionate and endlessly loving towards yourself and others. When that is what you want to receive from Allah, then that is what you have to become for Allah. That is what you have to become for Allah, so that you can love yourself endlessly and unconditionally, and others also. This is what the name calls you to do. Be loving to all, for everything is from him. For him and him it will return to. So always, always send out love to all you know and all you don't know. For we don't know who is in need of love, and through us they might receive love in ways they need it the most. We don't know who out there is crying or feeling alone. So when you pray for them and humanity, you are sending out Ar-Rahman's love to the whole of this globe, to the whole of this creation, without even you knowing that you are doing a favor to somebody. And that is how we cultivate the spirit, the attribute of Ar-Rahman, endless love. You don't have to love somebody, or you don't have to, know somebody to love them. You can send out love by just making a prayer. Ya Allah, the way you love me, allow me to love all that there is in your creation. Send love through my heart to every single being that I know and that I don't know. Please, Allah, make me the vessel to spread love, to spread that light that you put inside of me, so that I can live this attribute and follow your light home back to you. So imagine like you're constantly being given a Rahman. So you're constantly cleaning your heart. The more you give out love, the more you receive love. So keep giving love to humanity. Sit in your day, or even while you're washing dishes, even while you're doing something, I don't care what you do, but in your mind, in your heart, make a prayer for those who you know and those who you don't know, to receive the love. Send out Rahma on them through Allah, and say, Allah, whoever it is out there who needs you in this moment, please help them. Please help those that are in need of Rahman. Prayer is Prayer is a form of sending love, meeting our own vibration, raising our own vibration and of those on the path. So send a prayer to all and see the way Ya Rahman brings you endless love in the most miraculous and unexpected ways, inshallah. For He is who loves you, guides you, heals you, and holds you. So He is you, who you belong to, and to Him, inshallah, you will return. So this whole text that I read, I'm going to create an artwork which I'll be sharing on my Patreon, and you can connect. You can become a subscribed member, or you can even join in and see the other sessions which are there available for free. But you can join me there and draw with me and dive deeper into understanding this name through an art form. Thank you so much for joining, whoever is joining me here on YouTube. And now I will take it further in my video with to create an artwork with those who will be, inshallah, joining me at Patreon. And what that does is my art sessions are all about connecting your eyes, your being, your body, your heart, your soul, everything in submission to Allah, and create beauty into this world. What this does is it not only helps us to become present, it becomes a reminder of that name, and later on also, and even in this moment, holds you of these 7 points that I've just shared with you. And like I said, if you want to join, you're most welcome to on my Patreon, as I will be sharing that there. And together we can create beauty in Allah's world. So thank you so much for joining me, everyone. And leave me a comment, connect with me. You're most welcome to join my social media, send me a message what you thought of the session, and you received any insights that you'd like to share with me. So I'll see you guys in my next video, inshallah. Allah Hafiz for now. Now, salam to all those who will be joining me on Patreon, and I will be sharing the grid with you. I'm using an A4 size of paper today. Here's my grid, and this is going to be very exciting. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So what we're going to do is bring ourselves into the present moment. Thank Allah for His beautiful name, Ar-Rahman, to help us, guide us, hold us, and heal us in ways that we need in this very moment. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. What you will need for this session is an eraser, a ruler, a protractor. I have no idea how, but I forgot my compass, so I'm not going to go get it because I don't want to disrupt and move away. So I will do a freehand circle. And what I was hoping to do was, because it's the number seven points that came through, I was going to use some color pencils for it. And what I'll do is I'll bring this one up for all of you. Oh, is it? I don't know if it's visible. I hope it's visible. Anyway, we'll see in the recording. Just place your dot wherever it is that your heart brings you in the center. Let's create our first line using that dot. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Using your protractor. We're just creating a vertical line using the center dot. So we're going to look at 7, divide our vertical line in a way that we get 7 exact divisions. So for example, let's go by an inch, right? So I'm placing my ruler here and I'm going to go, because 7 is not a whole, like it's not an even number. Aha, that's why there is no compass. Because this piece doesn't need a circle. It is a vast name, so it won't need a circle. That's so cool. Okay. We're going to create 7 lines. So I'm going to try and see if I can 1, 2, 3 below, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So on the top I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. On the bottom I've got 1, 2, 3. Using these dots, I'm going to use the protractor and get my 7 points on both sides so that we can have a straight line. The 4 on here and 3 on this side. So I'm just going to use that and create my straight lines. We've got 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now I want you to use your pencil and your hand. No need for a compass or anything. Just see if you can draw a nice circle. Just casually draw a circle, enclosing these. Doesn't have to be perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And I want actually, once you draw the whole circle, I'm trying to see if I can fit it inside. I'm moving my hand in a way. I'm connecting it visually without my focus. My eyes are on the sheet of paper, and all I'm doing is moving my hand in a way so that it's, and now I'm going to erase everything outside. Of this circle. I want you to keep your vertical line if possible, please. So freehand circle, make sure it's not perfect, but as perfect as you can get it. This is to say that when our focus is clear on these 7 things that we need to do, value ourselves, they're in the notes, they're in the video, so you can have a look at it. The 7 points that there are about acceptance, about valuing, about remembering, about focus towards Allah. All these 7 things in a world that is imperfect, which is this circle. In the world that is imperfect, we are able to be ready. Now I want you to look on the top and create a triangle using the edges. And again, do not use any tool for this. This is just your hand. So your focus is going to be that meeting that you're going to have with your Allah, which is the top circle. So this is where you will be meeting your Allah. This is what it looks like, a body that on a face. Anyway, now So this is your meeting when you will meet Allah. This is your final destination. This is your focus. So when you do these 7 things in an imperfect world, keep your focus on this. You will automatically, I want you to see if you can do the same thing on the other side. Again, don't measure this distance. Keep it freehand. So it could be larger, it could be bigger, smaller, it could be whatever it is comes to. You will always and always be with Allah on this earth. So it's exactly kind of like a mirror, but not a mirror. Not a mirror in the sense because we've got 7 and it's not equal. But if you think about it, when we are placed in this world and we follow these 6, 7 steps, our heart will be purified. Even though the world is imperfect, we'll keep our focus on meeting him. And when our focus is on meeting him, automatically that what we do here will be with him, because we'll be like, we're going to be meeting him, might as well start thinking of him with you here on this planet. And that is the Rahman. He is giving you this so that you are able to receive this from him, inshallah ta'ala. So that's like the thing. And what I'm going to do in my piece, of course, what I was thinking was I'm going to color this in the 7 colors, in the 7 different colors, and it doesn't have to be the chakra colors, but if that's what you guided to, then do the chakra colors. And also what I'm hoping is that I will try and, so this is just going to be colors with the script on it. This is going to be pattern here and pattern here and pattern here. But what I want to do is I want to create circles, which I might with a compass, and write Rahman in these circles. And write Rahman, for it is his love that is pulling me up to him, so I am able to feel him in my vibration here. So as above, so below. It is his love that is pulling me to him. So that's how I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to continue doing this Rahman, writing Rahman in the circles around this thing, going upwards and downwards, and fill the whole page with my writing script. I will share it in my video on my YouTube, so you can go check that out, inshallah ta'ala. And I really hope that this session brings you closer to Allah and reminds you how loved you are, regardless of what others make you feel in your life. When you value yourself, when you accept yourself, when you focus on Allah, you automatically will feel his love pouring over you, your heart, always, today, here, in the now, and also in the future when you are with him. So I love you all. Take good care of yourselves. Thank you again so much for joining me. Leave me a comment if this session helped you. If not, then don't leave a comment. But I love you all. Take care, inshallah. I will see you soon. Allah Hafiz.